We'll jump in here. We'll start everything
Yeah,
up.
you bet.
Hi everybody. My name is Brian Larry. I'm here with Ray Berry, owner of OmniByte.
Hello.
We're trying to figure out what has been his grind, what has been his hustle, and now what impact he's trying to make with his company. I want to say thank you for taking the time today to meet with
Thank you,
me.
Brian.
Question is what is your company? What is OmniByte?
OmniByte is a mobile web application developer. We provide services as well. And what we're doing is we're building mobile and web applications for field service organizations. That's your HVACs, your plumbers, your technicians, your electricians. Basically those people that keep our buildings and our homes running.
Yep. Okay. This is kind of in that, so you kind of answered this question, but what do you offer and who do you offer it to? Even though you just kind of answered it, can go in more detail about that.
Well, besides services where we do customizations and automations, really integrations to existing softwares that clients have, we work primarily with the HVAC companies that are tracking your service calls when you have an air conditioner down.
Yep.
And so what we offer besides that automation is we built a product that allows them to track their call in the field.
Okay.
So,
Actually, it won't go out. So.
what I'll do is I'll give an example. So
Okay.
one of our products is called Forms.
Okay.
And Forms is a product where it allows our clients to build a checklist of things to inspect, like to inspect the sprinklers in the building, to inspect the filters and the HVAC units that are in the building, track all that, track when it was done, where it was done, and be able to report on that. There's a lot of products like it, a lot of larger companies that build a Forms product, where our product is different. It is build centric for the technician and for the field service industry.
Okay. So kind of like this where I see the Cable One guys walking around with the pads or whatever, and they're tracking, documenting everything at one time, so that way it feeds back and kind of that real time communication with the office.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
All right. This is one question that we're asking everyone, and it's interesting to hear this: is how do you prove and validate your business idea? I mean, how did you know there's an actual market out there for what you're building?
Well, part of our business model is that we find a client that's willing to work with us in developing a product that the market is needing.
Smart.
And so for every product, we have 4 products at OmniByte. For every product, we had a client that worked with us in conjunction with building that product and bringing it to market. So we find the market, but we also go that step to find the first buyer of that software. Really all we're trying to do is solve the hard problems for the technician. How do we get them home safe and on time, but how do we improve their lives? There's nothing worse than having a bad tool in the toolbox. And so if one of your tools is your mobile app and you're trying to track your hours, your labor, you don't know what inventory you have on your truck, do you have the right parts, do you understand the history of what's happening at this building that you're at, you don't know what you're getting into. If you have the right information, it makes that call go very well, then it improves the customer experience significantly, and the likelihood that that particular HVAC company will be called back to service your water heater, your sump pump, or something else.
I like that concept. I used to own a fitness delivery business, and we got up to 10 guys at one point, and the biggest hassle was them leaving to go do a job and then coming back to the office. They forgot a tool, or they didn't document the inventory that was on the truck, so they would get there and they're missing a tool, or they're missing this, or they're missing that. It's like, God, I wish it just had something you guys could checklist every day to make sure you have what you need before you go out. Because at that time you spend driving back and forth costs me money situation. So it's interesting. So I like the concept of what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer I want to talk about Tech Pro.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
I think we're okay. I think we're ready.
Okay.
So our flagship product that we're building is called Tech Pro.
Okay.
And we're really proud of the product that's going to be released yet in 2017. What Tech Pro is it's a mobile app designed with technicians for the technician, and it sums up all the types of work that they do in the field. From the start of arriving to the job, to the inventory used off the truck that they're on, to the amount of hours and labor that they performed. It also includes getting the signature from the client that the work was completed, and it all works back to the back office field service management solution, and the ERP as well. And what we're really proud of with that app and how we did it, we found a partner, but we've also done it from a focus of the technician, not the service operations manager, not the CFO, from the business side, but what do the technicians need in the field to do their job well? And so that whole part about designed with techs and built for techs is very important. So besides having technicians actually in design reviews of our product, we have sent our engineers in the field, in their trucks and in their vans, to go out with the plumbers, to go out with electricians, to go out with the HVAC guys putting in air conditioners and heating units. And so they see what they're doing every day, and we're seeing how we impact their lives by building a better tool.
You know, that's that's smart right there, because that's the best way to validate the idea. You have someone willing to pay to actually improve the idea, people actually in the field using the idea, making the idea better, your team being a cohesive unit with that. That's the way to validate an idea. So that's the way to validate. Everybody listening, that's the way to validate the idea. It really is. I mean, it saves you so much time of building the thing and not having anyone want the thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's literally customized so you know what people are doing out there. That's probably the best answer we've heard so far as validating an idea.
It's one way to get 100% adoption.
It is.
When you put in a new tool into a team, not everyone wants the new tool. But if everyone's a part of designing and building that tool, they're going to use it.
They're definitely going to use it. Why is now the time for your business to exist? I mean, why is it now time for these products to be out on the market?
Well, I think the thing that's unique about OmniByte, besides that we really work on solving the problem and the hard problem that it is that mobile, there's a lot of mobile applications in our industry out there. We're just another one, and what we need to do is find a way to differentiate ourselves, right? What is the need? What we found and why we exist and why we're doing well is that mobile got really powerful, and a lot of companies put a lot into a mobile app. What we wanted to do, and what we thought the time was right now, is now back in the past, connectivity was an issue. Once that got improved, everybody put everything into a mobile app. We've taken a step backwards and said, what is it that a technician needs to do to get the job done, to simplify? And so what we saw is a lot of mobile apps that are very complex, very configurable, which is often said is very configurable and customizable. What they really want is a simple app that's reliable, that always stays connected and will work, and easy to navigate with your finger or your thumb. I like to say that we like it to be thumbable. If you're just basically putting a web browser or a client app on your mobile device, you missed the mark. And what we saw is that there's a lot of it out there, and when we did a restarting, okay, let's build it simple. Let's find out what is, again, that's really needed by the tech, and let's listen to the tech. That
is smart. It's interesting. We've started to do that also with inside of Connect Labs. It's our CTO literally goes to the locations and literally sits there. So
that's the way to do it.
So he can see how people are interacting with the business and this and that and so forth. He's asking a bunch of questions and coming back to the office and literally having a more detailed plan versus just randomly, doing some things because we think it's right. So,
part of that I'll contribute to my experience in lean manufacturing and my background there. Toyota Production System, for example, they have a term when they talk about Kaizen, which is attacking problems, and then going to Gemba, which is the way to solve the problems, is going to the floor and going to where things are happening, where the problems are happening. And what I try to instill in our company is that we want to go to the floor. We want to go to the production floor. In our case, we want to go to the field service techs where they're playing, where they're doing their work. And that's when we learn, is when you're there, just like you said with your CTO, is when you're there and you're present, that's when you learn the stuff that's going on.
Real education right there. First paying customers. Tell us about your first ever paying customer.
We had a service project with an ATM company out of Texas, a $1 billion organization, where my current chief technology officer and partner was working on a custom integration and automation of their service of deploying ATMs in the field and repairing them and bringing them back in. And so that was our first major client, a very good paying client. We had a good first year.
Can't beat that.
as a part of that. So they were very large, and the thing that was great is that this large company decided to give this small new company here in Fargo, North Dakota a shot. And I think it had a lot to do with the experience and reputation that they have had with my partner, Brian. And him having had worked with them before, they decided, we want him, we want this company, we want to give them a shot.
Yeah.
And so we've been very appreciative of that.
You can't beat that. I mean, that's a good CTO to bring on at that point. You're bringing business with them.
Yes.
And especially their respective billion-dollar companies.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's a good hire right there, right?
It was.
I think that's a great hire. If you weren't building this startup, what would you be doing? Now I heard this. I don't know if it's true or not, but do you have like a not an RV, but some type of a VW bus or something like that? So do you collect cars or something? I mean, if you weren't doing this, what would you be doing?
Well, I have to do this to buy those cars, right?
Okay, yep.
I do like cars, and I do have a VW bus that I absolutely adore.
Okay.
I do tailgating at North Dakota State University with that.
Okay.
It's bison green, and it's super fun. And I do like to work on cars. It's kind of part of a different way of solving problems and getting myself into that. I also am a woodworker by trade,
Okay.
and so I have a small business that I used to build custom furniture
Okay.
on the side as well. Probably if I was a little bit of a reluctant entrepreneur. I'm an engineering person by trade.
Yep.
I'm really a cost-centric, reduce cost kind of person,
Yep.
and not necessarily go out and sell an idea. However, I fell into this visionary role
Yep.
to trying to solve the problems, which is a good fit.
Yep.
In the end, I'm just trying to solve problems. What I'd be doing is I'd probably be looking at working on another organization and trying to reduce their costs and making that department profitable.
Okay.
And it's because of that vision I had before I decided to start OmniByte. I realized that that's where I was going to land. I was going to find myself in another position where I'm working in a company and I'm increasing revenue and I'm decreasing costs so that the profits are established and growing a department.
Yep.
And I decided, well, why am I going to do that again for someone else? And that's why I wanted to do it for me.
Yep.
and wanted to create this company.
Caught the bug.
I did.
Caught the bug. I mean, if people always say if I'm doing it for someone else, I might as well do it for myself. You know what I mean? So traction. Sounds like you've gotten a lot of traction. But how has the traction been? Has it been nerve-wracking, exciting? How has the traction been for OmniByte?
Well, when you start out as a services company and having a client already, we were able to bring revenue in within a couple of weeks of business. So that's unique.
Yep.
And we continue to have a strong services offering. What I wasn't interested in building for OmniByte was to build a service company. I wanted to build mobile and web applications that improve field techs' lives. Yep. And so services, providing custom solutions, doesn't really make that a kind of an impact.
Yep. Yep.
And so we had good traction on services, and then we had to find of the products that I felt the market needed.
Yep.
Finding that client that has that need and are willing to work with us on that. And so that was probably the bigger challenge is finding the right partner with us to build that first version of that product.
Yep.
And we've done that successfully, but it wasn't easy. And so really I would say that the biggest challenge that we've had, once getting traction with services, backing off on the services and not chasing the projects. Yep. And investing into our product and product development.
Which is smart, which is definitely smart.
And it's not easy.
Yeah,
many companies have done it, and they all know that it's a challenge because the cash flow from a revenue generating services team is really fun and great to have.
You need to grow.
But you need to grow, and to grow we need to have products. What I believe is that services feeds products.
Yep.
And good products will feed your services team.
Yep.
And so we're now, we made the transition from a services only to starting a product team, and now what we're trying to do is build a balance between our services and products teams.
I like that. I like that concept. You've talked about your team a little bit, but what do you love about your team, your partners, and why are you guys the ones to start solving these problems that you're solving?
Well, my co-founder Brian, him and I have been together in different companies for about 20 years. And so, recently in the same company, mm-hmm. and he was working for me. And when I brought up the concept of what I wanted to do, and that was to use new technologies to solve problems and to go back to simplifying the solutions that people are using, yep. It was 20 minutes conversation, and he was in and starting a company. And
nice.
Yeah, and so having known him and what he offers in terms of to complement my skills, yep. Was really important. Okay. So I'm a bit more of the operations and visionary for OmniByte, yep. as the original aha moment started with me. What I needed was a technology person. I have a tech background, but I'm not there today, and so I needed someone hungry to look at the newest and greatest technologies, and so I needed to add Brian as a partner, and it was a slam dunk. Really, OmniByte wouldn't exist if he didn't agree to it. Nice. I likely would not have done this without him. Nice. So once the two of us got together, what we needed was that one more key person to complement the three of us, what we call our three-legged stool, and that we needed Mike Noiser. Mike Noiser has over 20 years experience in field service and the sales and marketing.
Yes.
He's a deal closer. He knows the industry. He knows our competitors. He knows the market. And so with the three of us together, we've been able to not only grow the company, but grow our client base, take on new clients, get introductions into that C-suite and all these customers. And really it's because of the fact that the three of us have so much background together, but also in the industry. And so building that, and then also bringing on our new engineering lead last year, who had many years of mobile development management and an experience with Microsoft and Great Plains, which is the area that we work in. So what I love the most about the team is, besides the fact that we complement each other really well, and we're a very transparent company, and that's part of our culture, is we see what's on your mind, let's figure it out and solve the problems. Everybody wants to do this. Everybody sees how we can impact the lives of a tech, especially when you have a 22-year-old engineer go out into a tech and not realize what they do, and see them work into in conditions where they're trying to get some plumbing changes done, and it's messy, and they got paperwork, and they got phone calls to make. Have them be passionate about how we can make that better is what I love, and just building an organization where people are proud of what they do, and really can't wait to get back to what they didn't finish yesterday.
It's not just I hate Mondays anymore. It's I can't wait to get to work. I enjoy that. I'm that guy where Mondays don't bother me. I'm looking forward to going back to work and getting back into what I did, because I've taken the weekend off kind of situation. So I definitely love Mondays.
I'm with you on that, Brian.
How do you measure your success? I mean, what are the metrics you use to measure your success?
From the CEO standpoint, I look at customer acquisition, new clients. I also look at revenue, of course, but revenue for me is not as important. Don't tell my banker, but it's profitability. So what's really important, and we measure out the gate because of as a startup, the three of us, three owners, are all over 40, and we've got some experience out there. And what we knew we wanted to do is we want to make sure that we have good clients, and that we're doing good projects. And so profitability by client, profitability by projects are very important. It's not just revenue. So it's managing costs. We run a lean ship. We outsource all the things that we're not good at. We outsource our human resources. We outsource, of course, our legal. We outsource our IT. We outsource all of our accounting. What we do is we do what we're best at, and that's sales and marketing of field service products, and build them.
That's smart. Those are great metrics to measure by. Funding. We're asking people this question because we're trying to see who found what type of funding in North Dakota. So what type of funding did you find in North Dakota to kind of help you build?
Well, the first thing that we did is that we became a part of Innovate North Dakota. There's a $32,000 grant in 2015 that was available to innovative startups. We were building what we felt was an innovative mobile application and service company. And that kind of helped us with getting things kick-started. We started with just the two people, and what we knew is we needed some infrastructure, we needed some materials, we needed to brand and build websites. And so really that helped us with that, while my partner and I were trying to grow it, bootstrap this whole company. So the initial funding was ourselves and our time, sweat equity, and the Innovate North Dakota, $32,000. Now, I do want to point out too that with us having revenue in the first month, within about 30-ish days, net 30, we also had some funding, of course, from that. So we were entirely bootstrapped as a company. Now we have sought out funding that's been very beneficial in our growth stages. As we are significantly larger than two people today, what we've worked with is with our EDC and the Bank of North Dakota. There's a really great loan, a growth loan that's available. through them. It's very flexible, low interest.
Okay.
And what we needed is we just needed some capital to take on more hires.
Yep. Yep.
You need the hires to grow. You need those. That growth requires the hires. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And so working with the EDC
Yep.
here in John Mahachek, and what's called I think it's the Growth Initiative Fund here in
Okay.
Fargo.
Okay.
They're looking at investing into primary sector businesses that are growing jobs in the state of North Dakota and bringing in income from outside of our state.
So you guys did get primary sector.
We are primary
Okay.
sector,
Good
and
deal.
95% of our revenue comes outside of our state.
Really nice.
95%, and all but maybe a couple people are North Dakota residents.
Nice.
So,
nice. Yeah.
so we've taken advantage of a lot of programs, but from a financial standpoint, that first loan
Yep.
was a big help for us to make additional hires.
Yep.
And then we continue to work with the bank in North Dakota as we require capital for any further growth.
Okay.
Really just a wonderful organization in our state that really helps businesses like ours.
Yep.
We try to make it easy on them by having revenue, but at the same
That's
time,
pretty easy, yeah.
we're trying to grow fast.
Yep.
We've been in business for just over 2 years. We've gone from 2 to 17 people.
Nice.
And as far as employees, actual employees on payroll, we've affected 19 people in our state
Nice.
that have worked for us, and one either was an intern and has graduated, or left for the military. So,
Okay.
so that's a lot in just a couple of years for our organization.
That is. I mean, that's a pretty good goal for 2 years. Seems like everything's just been lining up for you.
Not everything.
Not everything.
Not everything.
All right.
Just like everyone in the CEO boot camps,
Yep.
and the groups, the entrepreneurs, everyone says it takes more time and more money than you expect, and it's absolutely true.
Yep.
And I believed them when they told me that.
Yep.
I wanted to prove them wrong, but it's just not that way.
Yep. I have to agree with that. Hiring people. How is hiring people and finding the right fit for your company? How has that been?
Not easy.
Okay.
The market in Fargo is tight for engineering, for
Yep.
software engineering specifically. We do get quite a few applicants.
Okay.
One of the things that's very important for OmniByte, more than the skills of which programming language you're familiar with or have the most experience in, and a lot of people say this, and I just say it's really true for OmniByte, is fit
Yep.
and character. We don't have time to have a poor fit. We don't have the luxury of having turnover.
Yep.
And so the process to become a part of OmniByte takes time, and we go through a lot of early interviews
Yep.
to get down to the right people. What we really look for is those ones that are just a little bit crazy, a little bit really take those risks on us,
Yep.
but also wanting to share that
Yep.
with us. And that takes a special person to come into a startup.
Yep.
Even though we've been here for 2 years, it's still a little bit of a risk for every person that says, I want to be part of OmniByte.
Yep.
I want to do what they're doing. And I think of it as a very fortunate every time that someone decides to join us.
Yep.
And we do have 3 openings, and it takes us 4 to 6 months to find a person
Wow. That long.
to fit in.
Okay.
Yeah, and mostly right now is that we're trying to hire in Fargo.
Okay.
We do have a couple remote employees, and one of our open positions is remote.
Okay.
But what we found is that to accelerate at the pace that I'm looking for our company to grow, it's easiest to do that in one room.
Yep.
It just really is. And we've tried otherwise, and I think in a few years, we could be a very strong virtual organization.
Nice.
Right now, as fast as we're growing, we sometimes just need to pull people in a room. And we do have technology. We do virtual video conference calls, and that works. It's just not it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's definitely we've tried remote. That's definitely an issue because you're not in the same room. You're not. It's people say I work better from home, but then as a team, it's like the team should be in the office kind of situation. So we've kind of had to go through that. I like the way your sales process takes time. We've been through probably 2 different sales guys on our team already, and it's mainly because it was come in, application, give us a speech, and then you're hired or not hired, one of those situations. And so I like the fact that you actually make them go through an actual process to get to be a part of your company. So it's not just to come in application and you're good to go. So,
Yeah, we have a phone interview.
Okay.
We have a second interview.
Okay.
That's not necessarily in person. And then we have 2 in-person interviews.
Okay.
And at the end, they meet with me.
Okay.
In the beginning, I did all the interviewing, and I still had some of those stages. At this point, I just meet with whichever the leadership person chooses. Like, we really want this person to join us.
Yeah.
And then for me, it's just a formality that I want them to get to know me and what I'm about.
Yeah.
Because if they're working for my organization, they got to be able to, I guess.
Mesh with you.
Yes. They got to be able to handle me and understand what I'm about.
Yep.
I am a little bit crazy, and sometimes I get real excited about things, and if they like that, and they like me after that meeting, I want them to be as informed as possible. No surprises when they come in, because what I need them to do when they get in is run.
Yep.
Just go.
Yep.
And I don't want them to be scared. Did Ray just say that we're having a bad week? Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're going to hear that.
I understand what those words mean. They don't actually mean they were horrible going down here. Just
That's
a
right.
bad week.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so it's just really important that they feel comfortable with me, as well as their supervisor and the rest of the team, and that way we can get them running. We just added a senior engineer just a couple weeks ago, and he is running.
Nice.
He is running, and he went through that whole big process.
Nice. I had my cousin. He owns a trucking company, and he says he always wants, if you own a basketball team and you hire the star player of a different team, you expect that player to come onto your team being just as successful as he was on another team, but even more. So, you know what I mean? Does that kind of make sense?
Yes, it does.
And the more he says that, the more I'm like, I get what you're saying now, man. Like, I don't want him to come to my team and all of a sudden he's only making 5 points a game when he's making 50 points a game over here. So the team's got to mesh.
That's right.
Otherwise,
Absolutely.
it's definitely going to cause issues. So
You got it, Brian.
Where do you see your growth in the next year? And you guys are saying you're almost up to 20 now.
We're going to be at 20 in the next 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
And I see us kind of stabilizing as far as employee count, somewhere in the mid-20s, but I see revenue doubling in the coming year.
Nice.
And I think double again.
Okay.
As we release the products that we're building currently, we'll see that revenue come in along with the growth that we've had in our services team in the last year.
Okay.
So I think that with the fact that we do outsource so much of our administrative side, when we talk about 22 to 24 people, that's like 20 engineering staff and a handful of the sales and marketing staff. Right now we just have 2 in that area that handle all that for us. Okay. We use a lot of great tools that are out there for us to help be efficient. Okay. But I think that we'll continue to be run lean. Okay. And then see profits. Every employee, every full-time permanent employee is an owner.
Nice.
Everyone has stock options in our company.
Nice.
Also, we have profit sharing, and our target is to be profitable. Yep. And so we'll see growth both in revenue and in size. But I believe that there will be a point where we'll be very successful for a number of years in that 20s. Yep. I'll look back at this and go, wow, man, that was crazy. He was wrong about that. But that's also still assuming that we were outsourcing all those other resources, and that we don't take on any mergers or acquisitions.
Okay. What are the struggles as you've grown? As you've been going down this journey, going down this road, what have been some of the struggles?
I think that's common that to maintain the culture that you initially tried to build. Yep. I want everyone to be absolutely as excited as I am. Yep. What I have to realize is that I just want them to be about 90% as excited. So I can't necessarily get that. Yeah, yeah. Maybe they'll get there after they get in and are part of OmniByte for a while. Yep. I would say our biggest struggle is getting people on fast enough, and that has an impact to the team I have. And you can ask everyone, they work a lot and they work hard a lot of times because that we are in a backlog situation. Okay. We do not have enough staff for output, but we're not going to risk just bringing in headcount. Yep. And so that is taxing on your current team until you start seeing those hires. And then that relief comes in. So it has been hiring at the right time. Not just the right person, but at the right time, and to accommodate the growth. Okay. That's been our biggest challenge. What we've been successful is getting young talent out of the colleges and interns from North Dakota State, getting somewhere between 2 and 7 years experience in Fargo-Moorhead that's a computer programmer is very difficult.
Yeah, it is.
There's a lot of competition and there's a lot of movement in that area. And we want them to want to be here.
Agreed. I definitely have to agree with that.
It's tough.
Biggest threat. I mean, what is your biggest threat, Tom? We asked this question to different people, and some people said it's themselves. Some people said it's their competition. Some people said it's their team. What is your biggest threat right now?
I think our continual biggest threat is the competition of our clients saying no or not right now. As you're trying to grow quickly and you're trying to get your products into the market quickly, we don't necessarily hear that these other products are better and we're going to go over those products. It's that competitor of the not right now. And so I think our biggest threat is time and clients holding off on adopting our products. And they want to see us be successful and deliver, and then they'll be more apt to jump on board. I think we're at the right type of product. Our feedback as we introduce it to others in the market, very positive. It doesn't mean that they're going to buy today. So I think our biggest risk is time and getting everything to the market when we want to. There's I would say a window of opportunity for OmniByte to really capture a large market of really what we would say between 25 and $150 million annual revenue companies that are looking for this type of mobile. And the fact that I don't have it in my hands right now is a problem. And what I push my team to is we have to have it in our hands this year. And because that is our biggest risk. Time.
This is the big question. This is why we're all here today. Everyone talks about grinding. Everyone talks about hustling. We want to know what impact you're trying to make with your company. So when this is all said and done, some people think that the money's great, but when it's all said and done, what is the impact you hope to make with the company?
I'll share when I first started. I was in the Innovate North Dakota program, and there's these CEO boot camps. And one of the things that was happening at the time is I was learning to become a CEO from being an engineer or an engineering lead or development lead. Was besides trying to be more visionary, understanding who our clients are. Who is your client? And I have said this, is that I thought the client is the cost person. Go to the CFO, make the CFO happy, bam, you've got business. They might be a decision maker, but what I realized in a process of not necessarily soul searching, but really digging in to understand what is it I'm trying to do with this solution, is trying to determine who we might impact with what we're trying to do. And what I did discover as part of that is our client isn't the CFO, it isn't the service manager, which is the person who is in charge of all the technicians. One of our companies, as a $1 billion organization in California, has over 700 technicians.
Jesus.
Our smallest company has 15 technicians. So there's a
That's
lot of people we're affecting. And so what I realize is that the importance of what these technicians do for us on a regular basis. In my past, I was in charge of a facility, and I had technicians that reported to me, but I also hired technicians to support our HVAC controls, our generators, and all these things are really important that we all take for granted. And so what I saw as where we can make the biggest impact, so that's where our focus came into which products are we going to put our attention to first, is the largest impact to the technician. What can we do to improve the lives of the tech that's keeping our homes running? The one that's showing up in the middle of a flood because your sump pump's not running, the one that in a heat wave comes out and gets your air conditioner running. That's a hard job.
It is.
And so what we felt we could do is the biggest impact was to give them a better tool to do their job. And really the target there is that make their lives better, make their work lives better, so that impacts their family lives. They get home on time because they're out running in different jobs and they got their truck out. They have a family. They want to get home on time. If they are still dealing with paperwork, if they're still dealing with issues just even leaks on the job,
Yep.
they still have to complete the paperwork side.
Yep.
Can we simplify it so that they're not frustrated,
Okay.
and they get home safe,
Yep.
and that they had a good time in front of the customer, but also a good end of their day. And so our impact is really to improve the lives of the tech.
Okay.
The tech that isn't always the glorious job that everybody says, oh, you know, that I don't know how to say that right. It's not the most glamorous job.
Yep.
That's what I meant.
Yep.
So the technician role is can be very difficult, can be very dirty, can be very strenuous, and how can we improve their lives and their families' lives? And that is, you know, their companies try to give them the best tools,
Yep.
and we want to be one of those tools.
Okay. I have to say that's an awesome impact. The whole journey seems like you guys have started off with the right team members, getting the right traction in the beginning, to steadily growing the team to the point where, like you said, you'll be up to 20. The impact to me is it sounds amazing. For simple fact is I used to be in the service industry, so being able to have that tool and make my life simpler when I'm in the field. Can I get home by 5 o'clock and eat dinner with my family? I mean, to me, that sounds like a good impact to me. So I want to thank you for taking the time today to sit down with me and tell me your journey. We hope to follow up in about 6 months to kind of see what you guys are doing. So we'll stop back in and see how things are going. Maybe replay the video for you, see how things have changed, and kind of go from there.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk again soon.
All right, Brian.
Hey, thank you very much.
Thank you as well.
Yeah, you have a good
Appreciate
day.
it.